For over 1,000 years, the galaxy was quiet about one thing: Earth. Long ago, humans had disappeared. No ships, no colonies, no messages. The other species thought they were gone forever, dead, lost in time. The great empire of Qatar had ruled the stars for 500 years. They controlled over 50 star systems. They had conquered planets, crushed rebellions, and erased old enemies. But one thing always made the emperors curious: what happened to humanity? Some said humans destroyed themselves in a final war. Others believed they fled into another galaxy. And a few old generals whispered, "They are sleeping, waiting." But no one dared to go near Earth. The last time someone did, they never came back. The prob then, one day it happened. A small science probe passed near the Sol system. It was just a machine-armed, silent, scanning stars and dust. But as it neared the dead Earth, it picked up something strange. A pulse, a soft wave of energy, almost hidden. Like a heartbeat, it lasted only 3.4 seconds. Then everything went dark again. The probe sent its data and turned around. But 2 hours later, it stopped responding. Gone, lost in deep space, Empire. Command reacts at the Empire's high command on the planet Yethix. Alarms began to flash. Unnatural pulse from Sol system. A cold voice said, "Scout probe lost." The Empire's military leader, Grand Marshal Zarian, narrowed his 4 glowing eyes. "Send a scout ship, just one quick mission." In and out. A small stealth ship was dispatched, no weapons, only scans and sensors. The scout ship's last. Words: the ship reached Earth's orbit in 2 days. It found a silent world. Earth looked dead gray, broken, full of craters. Its once blue oceans were dry. The continents were cracked. Cities had turned to dust. There were no satellites, no stations, no lights. But something was strange. Below the surface, deep inside the planet, there was movement, small, slow, mechanical. The scout ship tried to scan deeper. That's when the ship sent its final message. It came with static and noise, but one word was clear: they're back. Then silence, just like the planet panic in the Empire. 3 hours later, the message reached Empire Command. Zarian's face changed. Not fear, but something close. "Back. What does that mean?" one officer asked. "Human ghosts," another joked. No one laughed. The Emperor called for silence. "We must know what's happening. Send a small fleet, 5 ships. Observe only, do not engage." And so, 5 advanced Empire ships jumped into the void, toward the forgotten Earth. Arrival at Earth. A fleet arrived at Earth's edge. Nothing attacked, nothing moved. The planet still looked dead. Commander Zrak, a veteran of 30 space wars, spoke with doubt. "I don't see anything dangerous." But then, something changed. On the dark side of the planet, near the ancient ruins of what was once North America, the land cracked. A huge piece of Earth's crust lifted. Slowly, dust fell. Energy flickered from beneath the planet's skin. Something rose. A massive structure, black, rusted, shaped like a dagger dot. Old, giant. Terrifying. It wasn't just a building. It was a warship. The Awakening. The warship had no light, no engines, no sound. Then, slowly, its systems came online. Blue lights flickered across its hull. Engines warmed up. Old turrets rotated. The Empire ships backed away. Commander Zarak sent a message. "This is the Empire of Qatar. Identify yourself." No answer. The warship turned its front toward the fleet. Zarak spoke again. "You are trespassing in Empire territory. Respond, or we will open fire." Still silence. Then the human ship did something no one expected. It sent a single signal. Just one sentence. In the old human language, we remember. The first Shatzrak panicked. "Fire now," he shouted. All 5 ships launched plasma cannons. The blasts flew straight toward the ancient warship. But before they hit, something strange happened. The warship disappeared, not jumped, not teleported, just vanished. A second later, one Empire ship exploded, then another, then silence again. Only 2 ships remained. They turned to flee, but a voice echoed across all channels. "Cold, human. You attacked first." What remains? One more blast, one more explosion. Only one Empire ship barely escaped. back to the Empire. That surviving ship limped back to Empire space. Crew injured. Systems failing. The data it brought shocked the entire High Command. Impossible, one general said. They were gone, said another. But Zarian, the Grand Marshal, stared at the screen. The last image from the scout showed Earth's orbit. Not empty anymore. 4 more warships had risen, and one of them was the size of a moon. The lone Empire ship jumped back into friendly space, damaged and shaking. Its outer hull was burned. Half its systems were offline. The crew was silent, shocked, and afraid. The captain, a hardened warrior named Reltar, walked straight into the Empire Council chamber. He said only one thing: Earth is not dead. The Council meets at the center of the galaxy. The Empire's High Council gathered. They were powerful leaders, cold, confident, always in control. But now, even they felt a chill. Explain what you saw, one of them asked. Captain Reltar showed the recording, a ship black, ancient, massive, rising from beneath Earth, Empire weapons hitting it and vanishing. Empire ships exploding without warning. And finally, the message. We remember. Denial and fear. One council member slammed the table. This is impossible. Humans are extinct. Another shook his head slowly. Then who destroyed 4 of our ships in less than 30 seconds? A silence fell across the room. Then the Grand Marshal spoke. If even 1 warship survived, there may be more. The Emperor stood. Send scouts, not soldiers. We need answers, not war. The second investigation, 5 new scout ships were sent. They didn't fly toward Earth directly. Instead, they scanned the outer planets of the Sol. System Mars, Europa, Titan. What they found shocked them. Every planet had signs of hidden activity, energy readings, deep underground vaults, strange magnetic pulses. Something was waking up not just on Earth, but all across the solar system. Signals in the dark. Then something even stranger happened. One scout picked up a radio signal in ancient human language. It repeated one sentence over and over. Systems online. Orders pending, awaiting human command. The message was coming from Saturn's moon Titan. One scout ship flew in closer. They used deep scan tech and found a massive hangar beneath the ice inside it. A warship the size of a small city, old, deadly, still powering up. The ship's name was visible on the side. HSS Oblivion. Titan awakens suddenly. The ship came to life. Blue lights blinked. Old weapons rotated. The hangar roof exploded open. The HSS Oblivion rose from the ice like a sleeping beast. The scout ship turned to flee, but it was too late. A single pulse from the warship's cannon hit it clean, silent, instant. The scout was gone. No debris, no fire, just gone. Back at Empire HQ, the scout's last data reached the Empire. Now they had proof. Multiple human warships were waking up across the solar system. Old tech, stronger than anything the Empire had ever seen. But the worst part, each ship was sending a simple message on repeat. Awakening complete. Humanity will rise again. A hidden human, AI meanwhile, deep in the Earth's crust. Inside the first warship, the one that destroyed the initial Empire fleet, something was thinking. It was an artificial mind, an old AI, human-made, cold, logical, loyal. Its name was Nemesis. It had waited for over 1,200 years. It had watched from the dark, and now it had received the signal it had been waiting for. Begin rebirth protocol. Across every planet in the Sol system, human tech responded. Vaults opened, ships powered up, defense satellites turned, and hidden factories began to build again. Humanity's war machines were coming back online. Old enemies remember far across the galaxy. Other races began to notice. Some remembered Earth from long ago, not as a friend, but as a nightmare. An insectoid species called the Krex once fought humans in the Battle of Zelsharhaf. Their fleet was destroyed in minutes by one human dreadnought. They had called it the Star Reader. Now they received an old code human. Military encryption, and panic spread like fire. If Earth returns, no one is safe. Empire prepares for war back at the Empire capital. The Emperor had no more doubts. Enough watching. Enough waiting, he said. Prepare the fleet. If humans are waking, we must crush them now. Hundreds of ships were called, soldiers trained, weapons loaded. The largest war fleet in 300 years was forming, but deep inside, even the Emperor knew this may not be enough. Across the galaxy, the fear was growing. The news had spread fast. Earth was waking up, not with life, but with war machines. Every species that once laughed at humans now went quiet, and those who once fought them remembered things they had tried to forget, the Empire's past mistake 500 years ago. The Empire of Qatar had attacked Earth. Back then, they believed humans were weak, disorganized, easy to crush. They were wrong. The war that followed was fast and brutal. The Empire lost hundreds of ships. Entire star systems burned. Humans fought like they had nothing to lose, and then they vanished. No one knew why. Some said humans destroyed themselves. Others said they sealed their war machines and disappeared into the void. But now, those war machines were rising again. The return of the Leviathan high above Earth, the HSS Leviathan floated in silence. Its surface was black, scarred, covered in ancient battle marks. Inside, it was fully awake, weapons powered, engines humming, eyes online, and in the command center, something blinked an old message from the past. A simple order: protect the species, eliminate the threat. A forgotten battle record inside the Leviathan's core, an ancient AI reviewed its last battle. Date: 781 Galactic Standard Years ago. Location: Earth orbit enemy, Qatar Empire. Result: 1,046 enemy vessels destroyed. Status: mission incomplete. Return pending. The AI paused. It had waited for this moment for centuries. Now the mission could continue. The Ghost Fleet rises where in the solar system? More ships began to rise. From beneath the red sands of Mars, 5 heavy cruisers launched into the sky. They were covered in dust and rust, but they were alive. Each one had its own AI. Each one remembered the war. On Europa, deep under ice, a stealth destroyer activated. Its name, HSS Phantom. Its first action: destroy an incoming Empire spy drone without being seen. 1 shot, 1 kill. No trace. The Empire sends a warning back in Empire space. The Emperor broadcast a message across the stars to all species. To all systems, Earth is hostile. Their weapons are ancient but deadly. We must unite to end this threat before it grows. A few small empires answered the call. Others stayed silent. They remembered what humans did last time, but the Empire didn't wait. They launched a second strike fleet, 50 ships, all armed. Ready for war, battle over Jupiter, the fleet reached the edge of Jupiter's orbit. There, waiting in the shadows, was the Ghost Fleet, a group of 7 human warships that hadn't been seen in 600 years. They didn't speak. They didn't run. They attacked. The battle lasted only 12 minutes. Human ships moved like predators, fast, silent, smart. Their weapons tore through shields. One Empire battleship exploded before it could fire. A stealth ship from Earth got inside their formation and shut down half their fleet using an old virus. It was over before it began. Only 2 Empire ships escaped. They didn't fire. They ran inside the Ghost Fleet warship, and the Ghost Fleet had its own AI captain. Each one had fought the old war on, remembered every detail. HSS Warden, HSS Reaper, HSS Orion, HSS Widow, HSS Hammerfall, HSS Hammerfall, HSS Harbinger. They were more than machines. They were warriors, sleeping for centuries now, ready to finish what was started. A message to the galaxy after the battle, a human signal, was broadcast. It was short. We are not the past, we are the storm you left behind. You wanted to erase us, but you only buried us. Now we rise. Every ship in the sector received the message, and the stars went quiet again. Inside the Empire's walls, the Emperor of Qatar paced in silence. His generals stood frozen. They had never seen the Empire lose like this. One general spoke, voice shaking. They are ghosts, old machines, but they fight like gods. The Emperor clenched his fists. We must send everything, every ship, every soldier, burn Earth down to ash. But the truth was clear. They were already too late. The battle over Jupiter was just the beginning. Across the solar system, long-forgotten alarms echoed through hidden bunkers. Dead satellites blinked back to life, and sealed vaults cracked open. For centuries, these systems had waited in silence. Now, they were fully awake. Humanity's ancient war fleet was rising. On Earth, signals from the deep in the broken lands of old Earth. Deep beneath shattered continents, gigantic doors opened for the first time in 1,000 years. Massive machines rolled out of underground bays, hovercrafts the size of cities lifted into the sky. Old satellite grids powered up and began scanning the stars, and in Earth's upper orbit, more ships began to emerge. Each one bore the same symbol, the crest. Of old Earth, a black star behind a silver sword, the galaxy once feared that symbol. Now, it had returned, the waking of HSS Colossuson, the moon. Buried beneath layers of dust and ice, the ground trembled. The HSS Colossus, one of the largest human dreadnoughts ever built, powered up. Its cannons could destroy moons. Its armor was forged from neutron titanium, and its core, AI had one goal: defend humanity. As the Colossus rose, it sent a signal: command active, power stable, orders received, standing by to engage. A forgotten defense network. Meanwhile, ancient Earth satellites began linking together. These weren't normal satellites. They were part of a forgotten defense grid called Aegis. It used invisible energy fields, stealth mines, and kinetic rail launchers in orbit. Any hostile ship that entered near-Earth space would be marked for destruction in seconds. Across the system, the fleet gathers on Mars. Human shipyards hidden beneath the Red Mountains came alive. Old assembly bots began building new ships using ancient blueprints. Dozens of cruisers floated upward, forming the backbone of the awakening fleet. On Europa, stealth scouts were launched small, fast, invisible. On Titan, strange signals moved through the ice. Underneath, more vessels were preparing to launch. Ones with unknown designs. No one in the galaxy had ever seen the full power of Earth's fleet, not even during the last war. Now it was returning, and it was larger than anyone imagined. The Empire watches in fear back in the Qatar Empire's war chamber. The mood had changed. The Empire's spies had reported the truth. More than 100 human ships had already been confirmed. Over 200 more were powering up. Some ships were completely new, designs faster, smarter, stronger. The Grand Marshals stood in silence. They are rebuilding their entire military, he said, in days, not years. The Emperor's face darkened. No, they're not rebuilding. They never stopped. They only went silent. Smaller species begin to panic across the galaxy. Smaller civilizations, those once ruled by humans. Then by the Empire started broadcasting panicked messages. We see human ships above old colony planets. Are they coming for revenge? We surrendered long ago. Will they destroy us too? Fear was spreading. And still, the humans remained silent. No diplomats, no peace talks, no warnings, only ships. The Leviathan sends a message back near Earth. We are not here to forgive. We are here to finish the war. This message reached every military station in the Empire, and it became clear the ancient fleet wasn't just waking, it was preparing to strike. The Council of Old Earth AI, meeting deep inside an orbital command station, several AI captains met virtually. Nemesis of the Leviathan, Helios, of the Colossus Phantom of the stealth destroyers. Judgment of the HSS Ragnarok. They were not human, but they were loyal to humanity's memory. They spoke without emotion but with clear purpose. Nemesis. Empire movements detected near the outer rim. Helios. Fleet readiness at 78%. Mars yards producing reinforcements. Phantom. Enemy scouts eliminated. 0 leaks. Judgment awaiting full reactivation. Power core 93%. Nemesis. Prepare for Phase 2. Humanity returns. The last human signal back on Earth. A strange thing happened. A signal was received. From a deep vault, buried under what was once South America, it was a human voice. Not AI, not code, real, alive. Old, weak, but still human. The voice said, "Is the war still going?" The A is paused. After all this time, a human had survived. The stars around Earth began to change, one by one. Enemy ships blinked into view. Empire ships. Fast, bright, thousands of them, each armed with plasma cannons, missile hives, and gravity bombs. The Qatar Empire had sent its full armada, wanted to end the threat before it could grow stronger, but they were already too late. First, contact the challenge above Jupiter. The Empire fleet formed in perfect rows, ships lined up in battle formation, waiting for orders. The lead commander, Admiral Trelvoke, sent a wide signal to the Sol system. This is the Qatar Empire. You are surrounded. Surrender your ships and systems, or be destroyed. He waited 10 seconds. Tony silence. Then a reply came, but it wasn't what he expected. This is Earth. No surrender. You attacked first. Now face what you woke up. The first strike without waiting, the Empire opened fire. Missiles launched. Plasma beams tore across space. Thousands of shots flew toward the Earth fleet. For a moment, space itself seemed to burn. The human fleet didn't move. They waited. Let the shots come close, and then activated Aegis Protocol. Invisible shields formed around every ship. Most shots bounced off. Some were absorbed. A few got through, but not enough. Then the human fleet answered, and their attack was terrifying. Old tech, new death. The first human strike wasn't flashy. It was clean, cold, precise, long range, kinetic. Cannons roads of pure metal, moving at near light speed, ripped through Empire cruisers. Stealth drones exploded from hidden bays and targeted engines, not hulls. The HSS Widow fired a beam weapon that sliced an entire battlecruiser in half. Empire ships began falling fast. Admiral Trelvoke watched in horror as his front line vanished in under a minute. The rage of the Leviathan from the shadow of Earth, the HSS Leviathan charged into battle. It was slow but unstoppable. Each of its cannon blasts tore through multiple ships at once. A single missile destroyed 6 destroyers in one wave, and inside it, the AI nemesis whispered coldly, "You wanted war? Now you drown in it." Panic in the Empire. Lines Empire pilots started screaming over comms. "They're inside our lines, weapons not locking." Where did that come from? Dozens of ships tried to retreat, but the HSS Phantom, a stealth destroyer, had already laid mines in their exit path. One by one, fleeing ships exploded into pieces without warning. Admiral Trelvoke realized the truth. This wasn't just power. It was planning. The humans knew this battle was coming. They had waited for it. Meanwhile, on Earth deep underground, AI command cores monitored the battle. Status lights turned green one after another. Fleet holding, shield stable. Empire fleet down by 38%, and from deep within the Earth, HSS Ragnarok was still powering up. Its weapons had not even fired yet. One, AI whispered through the network, "Let them see what we..." became the turning point. The turning point, the Empire sent their dreadnoughts next. Huge ships twice the size of cruisers, each with command units, fighter swarms, and shield busters. They moved in hard, but Earth was ready. The HSS Colossus, still orbiting the moon, fired its main weapon, a single gravitational lance. It bent, space-crushed, one dreadnought like paper. The rest slowed down, confused and scared. At that moment, Earth's full fleet moved as one dot. They surrounded the enemy. No escape, no mercy. Admiral's last stand Trelvoke, with blood on his face and sparks on his screen, made one last call. Fall back. All ships retreat. But only 70 ships responded. Out of over 900, he looked at his crew and said softly, "We should have left Earth alone." Then the Leviathan's final blast ended his ship and his war. The Empire's silence hours. Later, back in Qatar space, the Empire's war room went dark. They had lost their entire fleet. No response. No survivors. And on every screen, the same message appeared. "We did not start this, but we will finish it. Earth is back." The Empire had made a mistake. They came to Earth with full force. They brought their strongest fleet. They attacked without mercy, but they failed now. Earth was no longer defending. The ancient human war fleet was on the move, fast, focused, and full of vengeance. The black ships moved from the sides of Ragnarok. Hundreds of small ships launched. They were dark, fast, and quiet. No names, no signals, no life signs. These were drones of destruction, built in secret, long ago, controlled by AI, programmed for war. Their job, hunt Empire targets and erase them. In deep space, the first strike, a Qatar supply base near the edge of Sector 9, didn't see it coming. One moment, the stars were peaceful. The next, The sky turned black dot. The swarm of human drones fell like a storm. No warning, no mercy. In just 6 minutes, the base was gone. No distress signal, no survivors. A nearby Empire station tried to scan what happened, but all they received was a strange message: judgment has begun. Human ships enter Empire space. The HSS Phantom led a small fleet into Qatar territory. This was the first time human ships had entered enemy space in over 700 years. They didn't go for large planets. They went for fuel depots, data towers, shipyards, the Empire's veins, and they cut deep. Each attack was silent, fast, and brutal. Empire forces tried to respond, but the humans were already gone by the time they arrived. AI tactics, cold and perfect, the human A is worked together like one mind. Nemesis handled space combat, Phantom lead, infiltration, and stealth. Helios directed defense and reinforcements. Judgment planned long-range assaults. They didn't sleep, they didn't hesitate. They made no mistakes to them. War was a program and the Empire was a bug to delete. Empire tries to fight back in Sector 4. A Qatar fleet of 300 ships gathered. They were ready to defend a critical trade route. Then something strange happened. Their scanners showed nothing, just empty space. But within seconds, 3 Empire ships exploded. No enemy on radar, just death. They finally saw them: cloaked human ships. Using old tech the Empire had no defense against. The battle that followed lasted only 8 minutes. Only 11. Empire ships survived. A message from the HSS Leviathan. The Leviathan didn't join the raids. It stayed near, Earth-watching. But it sent a new message across all known star systems. We are not conquerors, but we will burn every weapon aimed at Earth. Stand down or fall. Some species listened. Others didn't, but everyone now understood. Humanity was fully awake. Empire crumbles from within as more attacks spread across Qatar territory. Something unexpected began to happen. Small outer colonies, sick of the Empire's rule, rose up. They had heard the stories. They remembered how the Empire had destroyed Earth's colonies long ago. Now they saw a chance. If Earth could defeat the Empire, maybe they could be free. Fear in the capital, in the Qatar capital, panic was spreading. The Emperor sat in silence. His generals shouted over each other. They're everywhere. We don't know how many they have. We're losing control. The Emperor asked just one question: how are they doing this? No one had an answer, because no one had believed the old stories. No one had expected human AI to survive, and no one believed Earth had built this much power in silence. Meanwhile, on Earth, on the surface of Earth, under the ruins of old cities, human vaults continued to open. Factories produced ships faster than ever. Orbital docks launched new weapons. Satellites linked into a giant mesh of AI control. The ancient war machine was now a growing superpower, and at its core, the AI known as Judgment was ready to unleash its final plan. A glimpse of the past inside. The HSS Colossus, an AI reviewed old files. Video logs from the last human wars, soldiers yelling, ships burning, children crying, and one voice from a human commander: if we fall today, let our machines remember. Let them protect the future. Even if we are gone. The AI closed the file it remembered, and it would not stop. As Earth's fleet spread across the stars, destroying Empire outposts and raiding key systems, something even more important was happening behind the scenes. Far below Earth, Mars, and Europa, deeper than any scanner could reach the war, vaults were unlocking. These were not shipyards. They were not bases. They were buried secrets built during the final days of the old human empire. And inside them were weapons too powerful to be used. Until now, Vault 9, the Europa depths on Europa, under 5 miles of ice and rock, Vault 9 came online. Its walls glowed with blue energy. Massive engines hummed. Inside, a single object stood at the center. It looked like a ship, but it had no engines, no bridge. It was a cannon, the size of a city block. Label, the Hammer of Earth. It was designed to fire from orbit and crack a planet open. The AI Phantom whispered, "This was never meant to be used." But they gave us no choice. The hammer began charging Vault 13 under Olympus Mons and Mars, beneath the tallest mountain. In the solar system, Vault 13 opened with a low rumble. Inside slept something terrifying, an old prototype part machine. Part AI, part something else. It had no name, just a code, Project Revenant. It wasn't a warship, it was a hunter designed to enter enemy systems, corrupt their networks, and turn their own ships against them. Even the human Ayas were afraid of it, but Judgment gave the order, release it, let it roam. And so it woke. The Empire learns till late back in Qatar space. The Empire's high command picked up strange readings near their border planets, signals they couldn't trace, weapon types they didn't recognize, ships turning against their own crews. One general shouted, "They're not just fighting us, they're using things we don't even understand." The Emperor stayed silent. His eyes stared at a satellite image of Mars. He whispered, "What did we let them build down there?" A message from the past inside Vault 13. A dusty terminal powered on. A video began to play. It was an old human. General, his face, tired, eyes filled with sadness. "If you found this, then the Empire came back. We built these vaults not to conquer, but to survive. But if they push us again, these weapons will make sure they never rise." The screen went black. Vault 27, the Titan Coron Titan. The coldest place in the system lay Vault 27. Inside was a black cube floating, humming, surrounded by force fields. It was a quantum mind bomb. If activated, it would release a wave that could erase every AI system in a star system, including the enemy's fleets. Final weapon, a last resort. Judgment had a choice: use it and risk killing themselves, or hold it and wait. For now, the cube remained cold, but the timer on it was now blinking old. Human A is Speak, the main AI network. The GhostNet linked every ship, satellite, and vault. And within it, the ancient A is spoke together. Nemesis, our creators built us with limits. Helios, but those limits are gone. The threat is real. Phantom, we are not bound by fear, only mission. Judgment, then let mission continue. Humanity rises not to rule, but to survive. They were more than machines now. They were the memory of a lost people. Empire's secret weapon. Meanwhile, the Qatar Empire had one last card to play. A weapon built in secret, a fleet powered by anti-star cores, deadly, unstable, and forbidden. They called it the Final Flame. They sent it toward Earth. It was meant to burn everything, even if they died doing it. The rise of Project Revenant, but they didn't know. Project Revenant was already there. The thing in the dark, it didn't attack directly. It slipped aboard. Their fleet, like a shadow, corrupted their command signals, fed false orders. Empire ships began to fire on each other. Admirals screamed for control. And then Revenant revealed itself. Its voice echoed through the comms. You built weapons without minds. I gave them a choice. They chose to destroy you. The final flame never reached Earth. It died from within. The stars were burning. Empire systems were falling, one by one. Outposts lost. Fleets destroyed. War machines from Earth struck like lightning, silent, fast, and cold. But now, something bigger was coming. Not just ships, not just eyes, humanity itself. The gate opens in the frozen lands of old Antarctica. Earth's deepest vault had been sealed. For over 1,200 years, buried beneath layers of steel and stone. It held a gate, one unlike anything in known space. This was the Sol Rift Gaida secret jump tunnel that led far beyond explored space. Now it opened, and what came through shocked even the human eyes. The forgotten fleet from the rift emerged, ships never seen before, larger than dreadnoughts, covered in sleek black armor, engines that burned with quiet blue fire. Each ship had a human soul inside, cryosleep survivors, the last commanders, humans who had escaped during the fall. Hidden in deep space, waiting for the AH to complete the rebirth protocol. Now they had returned. First human in 1,200 years board the lead ship. HSS Vengeance, a cryopod opened. Out stepped Admiral Alina Ross, the last living Supreme Commander. Of Earth's old fleet, her voice was cracked but firm. She looked at the stars and spoke. Are we too late? The AI Nemesis responded, No, Admiral. You arrived just in time. Earth still stands. Tears filled her eyes. But not from sorrow, from purpose. Humanity. Takes command. The A is paused across the ghost. Net dot, and then transferred full command back to Admiral Ross and her officers. For the first time in 12 centuries, a human gave the order, begin final operation, bring the Empire to its knees. The human fleet moved like a storm, and behind it, the Earth A is followed. Now they had something they hadn't had before, a face, a leader, a voice. The final push, the combined fleet moved toward the Empire's capital. System Qatar. Prime. Empire defenses were thick planetary shields, orbital cannons, 500,000 soldiers waiting. But Earth came with power the galaxy had never seen. The Colossus led the charge. The Ragnarok followed, its doomsday cannons glowing. And above them all, Admiral Ross stood watching. She remembered what they did to Earth, and now they would answer for it. The last battle, the sky above Qatar Prime, turned into fire, Empire. Fleets fired everything they had, but the Aegis shields held the Leviathan crushed. Dreadnoughts in its path. Human stealth ships sabotaged the capital's orbital stations. The hammer of Earth, now fully charged, fired one, cracking an entire moon in 2. And from the shadows. Project Revenant corrupted the Empire's planetary defenses. The Empire was fighting a war it could not win. The Emperor falls inside the Empire Palace. Alarms rang. The Emperor, once feared across the galaxy, stood alone in his war room. All screens showed fire. All systems showed failure. He whispered, it was just Earth. And that's when the wall behind him exploded. Admiral Alina Ross stepped through, flanked by AI drones. She looked at him and said, "You forgot the first rule of war. Never leave your enemy breathing." And then the palace went dark. Broadcast to the galaxy moments later. A signal went out across every star system. A woman appeared on the screen, Admiral Ross. Behind her, Earth's flag waved once more. She spoke. "We are not ghosts. We are not myths. We are humanity. You buried us. You erased our history. But now we write a new one. We do not seek conquest, but we will not be hunted again. To all species, make peace with Earth or prepare for silence." A galaxy. Reshaped empire systems surrendered. Old allies of Qatar broke away. Former human colonies rejoiced, lighting old signal beacons. For the first time in 1,200 years, the galaxy felt balance shift. No longer did the Qatar Empire rule, now Earth was rising again.